We are praying. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the office of leaders and the county assemblies for the welfare of the society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in the county. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberations in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. We welcome our visitors from the executive and from the Office of the Auditor General and all the members present. We are interrogating Education Fund from the executive for the year 2020-2021. And with us here are the auditors and the executive and the members of the committee of PAC, Kisumu County Assembly. Before we move, I would like to, we do an introduction, and we are going to start with the members. We start with the member of the County Assembly from the other side. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Seth Ukumu, the MCA representing East Sem.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Honorable James Ochieng Omolo. I represent West Nyakach, a member of the committee.
Good morning, members. Good morning. My name is Mildred Ajumbo, representing Central Semi Ward, a member of this committee.
Good morning, members and our visitors. My name is James Oyugiwere, a member representing Nyalenda B Ward, Kisumu Central Sub-County, and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Honorable Were, put up your...
I'm Warindu Geoffrey, MCA representing Miwani Ward, Vice Chair, PAC.
Now we move to the Secretariat.
Thank you very much. I'm Austin Ochieng, Committee Clerk.
Thank you. I'm Honorable Ken Owuko, the Chair, PAC, County Assembly of Kisumu. Now we move. We are moving to the auditors.
Good morning, members. My name is Kennedy Ongoy from the Office of the Auditor General. I'm the Deputy Director of Audit, representing the Audit Office.
Good morning, members. I'm Gilbert Omogi, Office of the Auditor General.
Thank you. We are moving to the executive.
Good morning, members. My name is Daniel Okuta, the Fund Administrator for Kisumu County Education Fund. Thank you.
Members, my name is C.P. Jafet Orwa, the Fund Accountant, Kisumu County Education Fund. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we are going to administer oath as required by the law of the land and the standing orders of the County Assembly of Kisumu. So, Sergeant Atam, please.
I, I, Daniel Otieno Okuta, do solemnly and sincerely swear that every word that I shall utter before this committee is the truth and nothing but the truth, and that every statements and declarations that I shall make shall be made conscientiously, believing the same to be true and according to the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act. So help me God.
Thank you. As per the procedure, may I confirm from the clerk whether the responses from the executive has been received?
Thank you, Chair. We have the responses by the Fund Administrator. Thank you.
Thank you. With the auditors, have you received the responses from the Fund Administrators?
Yes, we received the responses by the management.
Maybe before you go to your first question, what was the opinion of the Auditor General concerning the operations of the fund? One auditor?
It had several issues that led to the qualification, which I will read the heading, and when the committee goes to the detailed questioning of the report or detail, we can then read the paragraphs the way they are. The first issue was comparative balances. The second issue was total net assets and liability. The third issue was administrative expenses. The fourth issue was on disbursement. And the 50 issues was cash and cash equivalents. So when the auditor gives a qualified opinion, it means that the balances for the accounts I've read were not confirmed to be correct. Thank you.
Thank you. We are giving you now the opportunity to start prosecuting your case by giving you the first question. You can go through the first question, then we see.
Differ with the balances reflected in the in respect to identical accounts in the audited financial statements for the previous year as detailed in Appendix 1. In view of the discrepancies, the accuracy of the financial statements for the year under review could not be confirmed. So that's the first question. I will be guided on whether to read the one question at a time or with.
Back to the fund managers.
Point of order, Chair.
Receive.
Thank you, Chair. Like I whispered to you that we have a bursary disbursement to do today, and with us here is the accounting officer and the acting chief officer. So in that interest, Honorable Chair, as we ask the question, maybe you choose one which will help us go through the question and also take the shortest time possible so that we allow them to go and disburse bursary for students who are already sent at home. Thank you, Chair.
So in other words, you suggest we do all the questions at once, then we...
Chair, that's a decision that you can guide us on together with the executive who are answering the questions.
Okay, I rule that we do it faster because we have another activity which we need to attend. So, the executive or the fund manager?
Thank you, Chair, for your concern. I'll move the response. We are in agreement with the auditor's observation regarding the comparative balances in the financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2021, which differs with the ones in the audited financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2020. And Chair, this arose due to oversight on the part of management, which we highly regret, and the management has taken corrective measures to ensure that comparative balances in the financial report for the year ended 30th June 2021 are correctly stated in the report for the year ended 30th June 2022. And if you allow, Chair, I can allow the fund accountant to take you through the appendix quickly. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. We just want to confirm that the comparative balances for the year ended June, first of all, Chair, the year ended 2020 is already closed and therefore published. We can only make amends in the subsequent year or years as the case may be. So the earliest year where I could make amend is on the year June 2022, and we have evidence that we have brought up the comparative balances correctly. For the sake of interest of time, Chair, if you can look at Annex 1, just on page number 1, the financial report, the statement of financial performance for the year ended June 22, we have correctly brought up the opening balances for the year ended June 2021. They have been correctly brought up as opening balances in the year ended June 2022. Members have taken of interest of time. The auditor maybe can confirm or in our agreement with what we have done. I thank you, Chair.
Back to the auditor.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, it is true the management has submitted the financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2022, which are currently subject to audit. Once the audit is complete, we shall confirm the errors relating to the financial year 2020 were correctly adjusted. As of now, the financial statement that is before the committee is that of the year 2019-2020, which is amended as the administrator has rightly said. We only amend the financial statement after in the first year that we notice the errors. So the errors, the way they have amended the errors is actually a correct way of amending errors in the financial statements. So we await for the financial statements, but the audit of the financial statement for 2021-2022, but the committee can give direction on what should be done in this instance. Thank you.
Members? So the issue is unresolved. It is unresolved. Next question, Auditor. Back to the auditor, second question.
The statement of financial position reflect the total net assets and liability balance of Kenya shillings 32,032,775. However, review of records provided for audit indicated that interest totaling to Kenya shillings 6,150,000 outstanding as at 30th June 2021 were not disclosed in the receivables from non-exchange transactions under current assets in the statement of financial position. I'm not through. In the circumstances, the accuracy of the net assets and liability balance totaling to Kenya shillings 32,032,775 reflected in the statement of financial position could not be confirmed.
Thank you, Chair. The management charged the administration cost of Thank you, Chair. The management charged the administration cost of Kenya shillings 6.15 million in the statement of financial performance as an expense as required under accrual accounting. In the subsequent report for the year ended 30th June 2022, we have taken corrective measure to ensure that interest issued is surrendered within the financial year, that only interest surrendered is expensed in the statement of financial performance, and that any unsurrendered interest is recognized as a receivable in the statement of financial position and subsequently recovered from the interest holder. And the Chair, we have an appendix 2, which I would request the fund accountant to quickly demonstrate to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. In Annex 2, we have given schedules of the interest holders totaling to Kenya shillings 6.15 million that were not recognized as the receivables in the statement of financial position. We want to explain that in the subsequent period, we have taken care to ensure that only interest surrendered is recognized as an expense and charged in the statement of financial performance, and any interest not surrendered is receivable and taken in the statement of financial position. I thank you, Chair.
Back to the auditor.
Thank you, Chair. The financial statement of the fund are prepared under the accrual basis of accounting. In that instance, it means that if there were interest at the end of the year, which were not surrendered, then they should be captured in the statement of financial position as receivables. The management have given us a new set of financial statement, which the financial statement, which is page 2 of that new set of financial statements does not reflect under current liabilities, straight under current non-current assets, under current liabilities, give me a minute, under current assets, non-current assets, where we have, the management have not indicated in this statement of financial position the accruals that is expected from the interest which were not surrendered by the end of the financial year. That is staff interest, which is Kenya shillings 6,150,000. So we are asking, why did the management why didn't the management disclose the interest to staff amount of 6 million as receivables in the statement of financial position? That's our question.
The fund manager.
Mr. Chairman, in the statement of financial performance, because we are doing accrual accounting, we recognize the entire 6.15 million as an expense. But in the statement of financial position, the management inadvertently forgot to include it as a receivable, which we should have done because it was a receivable to the fund, money held by parties outside the fund, but belongs to the fund. So we are saying that going forward, Chair, we are going to ensure that all receivables, not only interest, but all receivables are accrued in statement of financial position. Thank you, Chair.
You said the management forgot to? Just come clear on that so that we understand what
I
you're
said
talking.
the management inadvertently. I did not include them as a receivable in the statement of financial position.
Why was that oversight?
Mr. Chairman, the financial statement, we were transiting from cash basis to accrual, and therefore the idea of doing it on cash basis was still in the hands of the hands of the management, but accruals require us to accrue them. So I think it was just a transition problem from cash to accruals. Thank you.
But are you aware it is advisable to present the true statement of the financial account?
Chairman, we are aware of that.
Why did you fail to do that as an accountant?
Chair, I've already given explanation of what happened.
Back to members.
Chair, through the chair, do we have a duration to which the interest is supposed to be surrendered? That is a question to our fund manager.
Management.
Mr. Chairman, there is.
Maybe according to the law. You have to base your according to what the law states concerning surrender of the interest.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me to ask the accountant to explain. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the Public Finance Management County Government Regulation 2015, Section 93, subsection 6, deals with the issues and the issuance and surrender of interest. Interest ordinarily surrendered within 7 days of the ending of the activity for which the interest was issued. Thank you.
Member.
Thank you, Chair. That leads me to another question, Mr. Chair. If that is the law, does it mean that the oversight came as a result of some interest being surrendered after 7 days?
Back to the fund managers.
Mr. Chairman, a good number of these interests have already been surrendered, and we have evidence of a letter from the fund administrator writing to the interest holders to surrender them, only that by the end of the cutoff period, when the financial year was ending, they had not been surrendered. But to date, we have evidence of these interests having been surrendered. I thank you.
And do you have internal control system? Because before all these matters reach the Auditor General, maybe he comes and do all these things. Do you have the internal control system, financial control system, where you have the internal auditor advising against all that? And
Thank you, Chair. Indeed, there is an internal audit. The issue is partly addressed in the last concern of the auditor, which I would wish that we shelve until we reach there.
Member. We remember we agreed to dispense with every question. You know, matters are concerning all this. Or you must have actually ignored the advice of the internal audit system.
Thank you, Chair. The audit raised the same, and in the period under review, Chair, remember this was the COVID period. We had received a notice from the audit that they were to audit the fund in the year under review, but due to COVID, when people were working at home, Mr. Chair, the audit was not carried successfully. Thank you.
Members, do you have something before we go to another question? Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is still on the counters are said, a number of people have surrendered the interest. I believe that he has a list. You know, as an accountant, you cannot say a number. You must be talking from figures and from list of people that have surrendered the interest.
Fund managers.
Mr. Chairman, we have a list of people who already surrendered the interest, and we are more glad to share it with this committee, Chair. Thank you.
To the auditors, is that a fact? Is that true? Is that a true fact?
We have not received a list of those who have surrendered the interest as of now. So that is information with the fund administrator. So if we can share it with us, then we can confirm to the committee the status of the interest.
So it was not in the response. It was not part of the queries. Question 2 is unresolved. Auditors, question 3.
Administrative expenses. The statement of financial position. Yes. The statement of financial performance reflects fund administrative expenses totaling to Kenya shillings 6,150,000. However, the balance was not supported with payment vouchers and ledgers. Management instead provided interest warrants, which did not, however, indicate how the cash disbursement were accounted for by the respective recipients. In the circumstances, the accuracy, validity, and accuracy of the fund administrative expenses totaling to Kenya shillings 6,150,000 could not be confirmed.
Back to the fund managers.
Thank you, Chair. The management subsequently wrote to the interest holders requiring them to surrender the interest or to be recovered from their salaries as required by Section 93, Subsection 6 of the Public Finance Management County Government's Regulations 2015. And this is in Appendix 2, Chair, which I'll move to. In the subsequent report for the year ended 30th June 2022, we have taken corrective measure to ensure that interest issued is surrendered within the financial year, and any unsurrendered interest is recovered from the interest holder. And Mr. Chair, allow me to ask the accountant to take us through the list of surrendered interests that are attached in this report. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, your authority, as part of our annexes in response to that question number 3, we have attached surrenders of individuals who have already surrendered their interest. I don't know whether it is in order for me to mention their name, but the documents have been attached, which shows how part of this 6.15 million have been surrendered. Chair, we have attached evidence. I thank you.
I think what the auditor is asking is maybe you may not be understanding, or we get it back to the auditors. Auditors, they are giving us a different answer from what.
Our question is this: when you surrender the interest, then you capture the expenses in the ledger, and you provide us with payment vouchers. What we have seen in the response is one payment voucher for 330,635. So meaning that the balance of the 6,150,000 has not been fully explained. Of course, there are other vouchers, but there are just two. We have seen just two vouchers in the response. So the management have not fully answered our question. There is still a balance which is not surrendered. Or if it has been surrendered, then the management has not provided us with that information. So it is the committee to provide us with guidance on how to move forward. Thank you.
Members. Yes.
Chair, I think the question there is very simple. You gave somebody 392,000 and I'm impressed. What was he going to do with it? Then when he surrenders, he tells us the 392, I ate lunch with it, I bought uniform, blah, 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 and then you attach it. I think that's, if I got the question right, that's what the auditor wanted. So for every person who was given an interest, they surrendered based on the expenses that they incurred.
Do you have something to say? The ledgers, payment vouchers with supporting scale, is it there?
Mr. Chairman, we have not only attached 2, but we have attached 3 payment vouchers showing surrender of part of that interest. So it is true that we have not accounted for all of it, but here we have attached 3 payment vouchers, slightly over 1 million. Mr. Chairman, it is true that when you make a surrender, you indicate how much you have spent on, as the Honorable Member said, how much you have spent on fuel, how much you have spent on traveling, and the rest. This interest, the ones we have attached, Chair, clearly gives a breakdown of how the 336.35, 3 of them have been utilized in those small vote heads. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, member.
The auditor is asking about the rest, because I think it is amounting over 6 million, but the ones you've mentioned are over 1 million. So the rest, where are the rest?
Or in Arizona, why have you not attached others?
Mr. Chairman, we have also attached evidence of a letter written to all the interest holders to surrender the remaining balances. We commit to pursue the unrecovered balances and make sure that the fund does not lose any of its money, even a shilling. I thank you.
Honorable Akwach.
Thank you, thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, here we don't have time to waste. If at all the auditor is asking for 6 million, And the response which is given is just surrounding the 300,000. And the respondent is still insisting that he has attached the evidence. I think we are wasting time. If at all a question has been asked that pertains to 6 million, let us get the response that pertains to that 6 million, and then we move on. We have got several questions to ask. Thank you.
Honorable Jemo.
Thank you. I think on that note, Chair, if at all someone has not surrendered all this period, and they are insisting that we give them time for that, I think there is a procedure for those who have not surrendered as much to be surcharged. I think we cannot waste time because I think they are overdue. This impress ought to have been surrendered, I think, by then. Until now, if someone, an employee of the county government has not, I think then the procedures of recovery should really be initiated immediately.
Honorable Setokumu.
Chair, in the interest of time, I just want to remind you that it's 9:30. But I'll ask Chair, I believe that all these people who have their names here that have not surrendered their imprest, I believe that they've not been advanced any other imprest if we are to follow up, because that's the law, that you should not be advanced any imprest before you surrender the previous interest. Thank you, Chair.
I think it is very clear. The law on surrender of imprest is very clear. It is 7 days. Past that, that's a different matter altogether. Another issue which is at hand, the 6 million is not accounted for. So the matter remains unresolved again. Quick, next question from the data.
Thank you, Chair. The next question is on disbursement. The statement of financial performance reflects disbursements totaling to Kenya shillings 174,171,290. The balance includes bursary disbursement totaling to Kenya shillings 109,277,730 to universities, colleges, and secondary schools. Kenya shillings 7,740,000 to driving schools, and Kenya shillings 57,169,560 for various scholarships. However, examination of the records on the balances indicated that only Kenya shillings 72,790,649 was disbursed to the universities, colleges, and secondary schools, resulting to an unexplained variance of Kenya shillings 36,487,061. In addition, audit verifications of the bursaries disbursed to one of the schools revealed that of Kenya shillings 538,000 disbursed, only Kenya shillings 406,000 was received by the school, resulting in an unexplained variance of Kenya shillings 130,000. Further review of payment vouchers revealed that Kenya shillings 2,218,000 paid to various driving schools was not captured in the ledger. In addition, the supporting schedule for scholarship provided reflected disbursement totaling to Kenya shillings 57,861,497 against the Kenya shillings 57,169,560 reflected in the financial statements, resulting to an unexplained variance of Kenya shillings 69,691,937 between the two sets of records. In the circumstances, the propriety and accuracy of disbursements totaling to Kenya shillings 174,171,290 will not be confirmed.
Mr. Chairman, allow me to ask the fund accountant to respond straight away.
Mr. Chairman, in order to provide efficiency and to eliminate wastage of resources, the management decided to move from manual disbursement of funds to school through physical checks to internet banking. This movement was done during the year under review. Some payments were therefore done with the physical checks, while others were done using the internet banking platform in the same year. We have now reconciled both manual check payments and internet banking payments, which shows the correct bursaries and bursary disbursement made to universities, colleges, and secondary schools. With respect to disbursements of Kenya shillings 538,000 to school which only received Kenya shillings 408,000, it has been established that the management inadvertently sent a manifest or a list of beneficiaries totaling to Kenya shillings 538,000, while the actual fund remittance was only Kenya shillings 408 as received by the school. We have reconciled the manifest to match the actual disbursement of the school as shown in Appendix 3. We have also availed the ledger supporting the payments of Kenya shillings 2,218,000 to various driving schools as shown in Appendix 3A. Chair, thank you.
Back to the auditor.
A moment, Chair. Yeah, the issue is, according to us, the auditors, the issue is not resolved because management did not provide explanation for the variance, and no list was provided to support the disbursements to the driving schools. So we are asking, why hasn't management provided schedules to support the disbursement for the whole amount of 174,171,290, and why did it not provide the details in Note 8 to the financial statement? So Note 8, if you see the document that the management gave us, the new set of financial statement, you go to the notes, Note 8. Allow me to get there, I'm there. There is the scholarship payments, which were 57,109,560, and there is also the bursaries of 117,001,730, which totals to 174,171. The breakdown of these has actually not been provided to us for us to confirm that the 174,171,290 is a correct charge on public funds. Thank you.
Back to the members, Honorable Rakwach.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, as a people representative, I take interest with this 500, Kenya shillings 538, that the record showed that was disbursed to a certain school, while only 408,000 was received by the school. And here the management response is that in the manifest, it was 538, while the school received 408. Now, later on, they reconciled the manifest to reflect 408,000. I don't know this kind of bottom-up thing, because I think the award is being done at the ward level. And the management work is just to disburse the money according to the award from the ward. But if they also have the powers to amend, and instead of giving 5 something, they give 408, Then I don't know what happened to this 130,000. And according to this statement, if at all it is the manifest that was amended, then it means it affected some learners. There are some learners who may have been awarded money in this school who did not receive the money, because in the reconciliation of the manifest, it means some names had to be left out to reconcile the 408 that was actually disbursed. So the management should come clean and tell us how they did this reconciliation, down from 538 to 408. And what happened to the learners who are affected? We are people's representative and we are concerned about their plight. That is my submission, Chairman.
Back to the management.
Mr. Chairman, the correct position is that we did not send Kenya shillings 538,000 to the school. That was a list of beneficiaries. The actual amount disbursed to the school was only Kenya shillings 408,000. And when we realized that we had given out a larger list than the money available, we reconciled the list to agree with the money available. So it is not in record that we gave out 538,000 to a school. We gave out 408,000. That was what the school was entitled to be received as bursary paid to the students who are learning there. I thank you, Chair.
Yes, member.
Chair, you see how this thing works. All the lists are from all the 35 wards. For you to have generated a list with 580,000 and something, they must have come from these wards. So I'm just wondering, where did it generate from, this big list than the actual list? Because they must have generated from all the 35 wards to this school, Nyakach Girls.
Back to the management.
Mr. Chairman, in my initial response, I had said we were transiting from manual payment to internet banking. So in that transition, there could have been, I'm not trying to justify, there could have been a confusion in generating the list. But the management made sure that we did not pay the school anything higher than what was entitled to according to the number of beneficiaries in the school. The list could have been wrong, but we ensured that we only paid what was supposed to be paid to the school. Thank you.
Who was the accountant by then? Who was the accountant 2020? And who was the fund manager by then?
Mr. Chairman, I would stand guided if we are supposed to name, but just to say that as we sit here, we are here on transition. So with the county being a going concern, we are responding to the issue. So I don't know whether you will guide me to mention names, but we are transiting.
Yeah. Were you there? Were you the fund manager by then? Yes or no?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Seto Kumu.
Chair, I believe the document I'm holding originated from the department. And it's written Kisumu County Education Fund on page 41, annual report and financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2022. In 4.2, disbursement to Nyakach Girls. And they are saying that Nyakach Girls was actually paid 408 against a liability of 538,000, which was paid to cater for 96 students, thus leading to unpaid balance of 130,000. The management will pay the balance of 130,000 to ensure the beneficiary students benefit from the bursary. Chair, That's a statement I'm reading from this report. And I think that's different from what the accountant ordered. I believe that's different with submission of the accountant, that Nyakach actually only needed 408 and not 538. But from here he's saying that even though they gave them 408, they were actually to be paid 538. That means there's still a balance of 130,000 that they were planning to pay for all the students to benefit. I just need clarity, Chair.
Management, could you please come with a clear way how you dealt with this issue? Because it is a concern to everybody and to the honorable members who are representing the people. You know, we are working from the donated powers, from the very, very parents of the children who actually suffered out of your hands. Could you please come up very clear and explain so that we also go down there and explain to the people? That is part of our oversight role.
Mr. Chairman, we would ask to be given time to go and look at these two figures keenly so that we don't appear to be misleading this honorable committee. We find ourselves unable to give satisfaction explanation on these two figures. So we ask you to give us more time to give a proper response. I thank you, Chair.
Members of Rakwach, Honorable.
Chairman, this one now amounts to question of competence. Yeah, because even the management responded that they were transiting from check system to internet transfer system. And I think that one can only affect the money that was disbursed. Again, they are talking of manifest. And I think this one was, there was no internet thing in the list that was generated, the list of beneficiaries, Chairman. I think we have given a lot of time. This sitting, we would have had it last week, but we had to give an extension of 1 week. Until when will we deal with this matter completely, Chair? That is my question. If any time we meet, we have to extend, we have to adjourn, we have to give time. I know for us, maybe we're meeting this issue for the first time. But for the management, they have been in the office. And this is not a question of this financial year. This is a question of 2020-2021, Chairman. And they have been in this office, they have been looking, they have these records in the office. They cannot come here and tell us that they need more time and more time. It now takes us to the question of competence, Chairman. That is my submission. Something needs to be done, Chair.
Honorable Mojemo, James.
Thank you. Chair, as I mentioned earlier, this manifest can only be gotten from the different wards, the 35 of them. There is no 36th ward. So any omission would only reduce the amount. When we got it that the errored form was having more, this extra, where would they have been from? So I think that one has been answered by Honorable Seth, that actually there were students who were not paid for. When they wired 408, there were a lot, over 130,000 less, whose fees were not paid. So I think it should just be clear, these students who are not paid, who are they? Some of them even might have now transited from Nyakach girls. I think that is true, because some were in Form 4 then or Form 3 by then. So I think we should get a clear list. Who are they who are messed up? And if we are, again, in this other report, we will be wiring money again to Nyakach girls, amounting to 130. Now, who are the actual beneficiaries as at now? Because some have exited already, and they were messed up big time. Thank you.
Honorable Matara.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to ask on something. They're telling us that it is 96 students which are supposed to be the beneficiaries of 538. Kindly, can you tell us, for the 480, how many students? 408. How many got the bursary? Secondly, the fund manager, if you're not part of this document, because initially you said you only gave out the 480, which was supposed to be given to the Nyakach Girls High School, but not 538. Were you not part of this document which was when it was being documented? If you are not, involve the person who was responsible. Thank you.
Back to the management.
Chair, I will take the first question, the how many. We have attached a list showing the number of students who were given the 408,000. The fund admin may answer the...
Thank you, Chair. The honorable member has asked that I involve, the person was involved. But Chair, I just wanted to mention here that being the current holder of the office, I could not escape from presenting a report on what we got from the files. So this is what we could get, and indeed the accountant has mentioned that this is the actual payment. So if you could allow us to reconcile the 130, because the information I have is that only 408 was paid as reflected in the records.
Your microphone. Put off. Honorable members, these are the officers in charge of the fund meant for our children beneficiaries. And the team is led by the fund manager. Before you become a fund manager, you must be having qualifications and experience required to do all these things. And you know, we also have CPAK here. Somebody who has done all the accounting sections and finished. And you can hear what they are giving us. You will make your conclusions later. Next question. The matter remain unresolved.
That is the end of the qualifying issues, unless the committee allows us to move to discussion cash equivalent. Sorry. I'm sorry. The statement of financial position reflects cash and cash equivalent totaling to Kenya shillings 32,032,775. However, the respective bank reconciliation statements were not provided for audit, and the certificates of bank balances as at 30 June 2021 reflects a balance of only Kenya shillings 2,372,011. In the circumstances, the accuracy of the cash and cash equivalent balance totaling to Kenya shillings 32,032,775 could not be established.
Mr. Chairman, it is true that we didn't provide a bank reconciliation statement at the time of audit. However, we want to confirm that we have attached it as a part of response to this audit question. And we have also attached the certificate of bank balance. I thank you, Chair.
Back to the auditor.
Well, when we did the primary audit, we got a cash book which was only updated up to March 2021. So the balance for cash and cash equivalent is the cash book balance as at 30 June 2021, which is then reconciled with the bank statement, and the management should also normally provides the auditor with the bank certificate, the certificate of bank balance, and also how they have reconciled that bank statement that as at 30 June. So when we examine the bank reconciliation that is attached in the response to the management, it did not add up. Actually, the total cash book balance, the total figure for cash book balance was actually, when we casted the figures, it totaled to Kenya shillings 28,999,495.94 instead of the 32,032,775. So in other words, the management have not given us a correct bank reconciliation statement to support our observation. Thank you so much, Chair.
Back to the members. Members, do you have anything? Okay. Honorable Jemo.
I don't know how this was resolved. The one for driving schools, there are a list of them, Subtech, SPA, and Chapin. If they were ever paid, and the list of beneficiaries such as for the same payments. I don't know how it was resolved.
Back to auditors, how was it resolved?
The list was not provided for audit review.
So in other words, if it was not confirmed, you could not confirm through position. We had some. Next question.
That is the last qualifying issues in the audit report.
I have to rule from the chair that the matter is not resolved. Continue. Auditors.
So that brings us to the end of the qualifying issues. So in the report of the Auditor General, there are other matters which we need to table in this assembly. So the report of the Auditor General is usually in 3 parts. So the second part of the audit report is on report on lawfulness and effectiveness in use of public resources. In this, we report on, as required by Article 2296 of the Constitution of Kenya, we are required to report on how the public entity observed lawfulness and effectiveness or economy in the use of public resources. So there are one issue on the basis of conclusion, and this is on operation of a deficit budget. So the statement, the question reads like this: the statement of comparison of budget and actual amounts reflects a final revenue budget totaling to Kenya shillings 214,199,302, and the final expense budget of Kenya shillings 215, 199 to 302, resulting in a budget deficit of 1 million. Therefore, deficit was contrary to Regulation 31, some Regulation C of the Public Finance Management, County Government Regulation 2015, which requires budgeted revenue and expenditure appropriation of public entity to balance. So the management of the Kisumu County Bursary Fund operated a deficit budget, which is contrary to the law. Thank you.
Back to the members. Before I go to the members, the management, do you have anything? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, for record purposes, the fund is called Kisumu County Education Fund, not Kisumu County Bursary Fund. Let me go to the question with respect to operation on a deficit budget. Mr. Chairman, the management erroneously recognized the opening balance of Kenya shillings 9,199,305.15 as an adjustment in the statement of comparison of budget and actual amounts. Mr. Chairman, if you may give me time, if you go to the statement of comparison, if members have the financials report for June 2021, we have the original budget, the adjustment, and the final budget, and these other columns as we move ahead. The management treated an opening balance as an adjustment, which was not in order. If you remove that adjustment, the budget would balance at 205 million, both for the revenue and the expense. It was just an error of identifying what to be done correctly. I thank you, Chair.
Auditor.
I want to pose a question to the management. Are you trying to say that the statement of comparison of budget and actual amounts that we audited is not the correct statement? It had an error. Is that the position you are taking?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I was just trying to explain how the deficit of 1 million came about. Because if you take the statement of comparison of budget and actual for the year ended June 2021, column number 2 is the original budget, column number 3 is the adjustment. So the management erroneously recognized the 9,199,305.15 as an adjustment, yet it was an opening balance. If you remove it from the face of the financial statement, that statement will balance at 205 million, both for revenue and for the expenses. I was just trying to explain how the deficit of 1 million came about. It was contributed to by erroneously recognizing an opening balance as an adjustment, yet it was not an adjustment. Thank you, Chair.
So, do you have something to say? You may not have something to say again, because I had something of error. Error is being defended. If the error is already there in the financial statement, how is it defended then? You should admit that it's a problem and that we move ahead. To the members, the matter, the last question. Because of the issue of time. The matter remain unresolved. Maybe last question.
Thank you, Chair. The last question is on report on effectiveness of internal controls, risk management, and governance. So the conclusion, the basis of conclusion is lack of internal control oversight reports. Management did not provide internal audit and audit committee reports on the fund's operations for audit review. So in the circumstances, it was not possible to confirm whether oversight on the internal control system and risk management and other overall governance structures was effective. Thank you.
Back to the management.
Thank you, Chair. The Internal Audit Department gave out a notice of intention to carry out an internal appraisal of the activities of the fund for the year under review. As I mentioned earlier, due to outbreak of COVID, which led to officers of the department working from home, it was not possible for the department to avail records on the internal audit. The records of the department are available for appraisal by the internal auditor. And I want to mention that subsequently the auditors have now looked at the funds. Mr. Chairman, I thank you for the opportunity accorded to us to respond to the issues.
Yeah, the management have said that subsequent to this audit, to the audit of 2020-2021, they have provided us reports of the oversight bodies. This we are yet to confirm because the audit of 2021-2022 is ongoing and is not yet finalized. So we will confirm the management position when we look at how the audit of 2021-2022 will be reported. I wish to thank you very much for according us the opportunity to table the issues from the Auditor General. The report of the Auditor General is dated 9th September, year 2022. I may not read the subsequent paragraphs, which I request people, whoever is involved in the audit, in the management and the oversight, to read, because it's a lot of literature that is very important for us in executing the audit of public enterprises. Thank you, Chair, and thank you very much. Before I leave, Chair, I request you that we introduce one of our members who joined us in the middle of the discussion. So I will ask that she introduce herself so that she does not remain a stranger in this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Margaret Moronge, one of the auditors. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have anything to say? Because that is the close of the questions. Now, do you have anything to say as fund managers?
Thank you, Chair. As mentioned, we are very grateful for the opportunity accorded to us to appear before this committee to answer to the questions, and it has been an experience to us, and we hope to improve in the subsequent meetings. Thank you.
Back to the members. Maybe I can start from Honorable Koyo.
Chair, thank you so much. I'm happy. My height has made you to see me where I am, and I'm happy because I thought, for the record purposes, you will keep me away from talking. Chair, sorry, I came in late, and I've observed a lot of questions which are pending and are going to be left unresolved. My concern is to the management. I don't know how, because I heard you saying maybe those who are there in the office are not there for now. But I want to tell you, it's your responsibility now to give us the facts and the right information so that we can resolve these issues. Chair, I'm asking the management to set the precedent clear that we wouldn't want to have the same unresolved matters again. So they need to give us what we need to get from them. Sorry, Chair, and that's what I can say for now.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Ruben Rakwach.
Thank you, Chair. I also came in after the introduction, but you've introduced me because you called me by my two names. I'm Honorable Ruben Rakwach, member representing Koloi East Ward, and a member of PAC Committee. Chair, the management asked for more time. I don't know whether you are going to grant them that, but it is my request that they go through their records so that when they come back here, if at all, that request will be granted, that permission will be granted, then we conclude this matter. And then, remember there is even a launch at Mama Grace Onyango Hall today for the bursary fund, or Rotary. Thank you for the correction. Last time, I think I saw it in another invite that it was supposed to be at that venue that I've just mentioned. Yeah, so we need prudent use of funds, even in the subsequent years. If at all you are still in that office, remember, we are here as the people's watchdogs. We'll make sure that whoever tries to misappropriate fund is brought to book. So please try so that we are not at loggerhead. And then to the impressed holders, you should have initiated the recovery process because it is long overdue. If at all you are lenient to them, then I think we can all recover it from you because you are the people who are supposed to do it from them. If you don't recover, my friends, it will boomerang on you. So let us take our work seriously so that we are not at loggerhead. Otherwise, thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Member. Honorable Matara.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, I didn't come late as such, but I came late because you already started. I'm Honorable Nancy Matara Ochin, a nominated, a member of this committee. What I want to tell you is that you are holding a crucial position and you have to be so keen on it because you're being told you're the people holding the funds. And you're being told is the root of evil. So you're going to build your name or you're going to destroy your name when you leave the position. So it's all upon you. Be blessed.
Honorable Seto Kumu.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I first want to appreciate the management for the opportunity to come and explain some of the expenditures. But Chair, I want to remind you of Article 226 of the Constitution. And Article 226 says that an accounting officer of a county public entity is accountable to the county assembly for its financial management. I think that we should be reminded all the time that all the monies we spend, you are accountable to the assembly. But Chair, Article 226, Sub-Article 2 reads, the accounting officer not article, but sub-article 5. It reads, the holder of a public office, including political office, directs or approves the use of public funds contrary to the law or instructions. The person is liable for any loss arising from that use and shall make good the loss, whether the person remains the holder of the office or not. Chair, I read the report and I see the management then. And I see how my brother Dan Okuta struggles to answer the question just because he's an acting officer. Sometimes I think we are doing a disservice when we know so well the people who are managing the fund whom we should invite here, especially for such audit reports, so that we are not vague in the answers that we get. Let's go straight to the people. And that's why the report of a fund comes with the people who are managing the funds. So that next time when we are inviting the people, let's invite the people who are managing the fund, whether they are in office or not, so that we get the correct answer. That's my submission, Chair. Thank you.
Honorable Jemo.
Thank you. I want to appreciate our administrators for coming and shedding more light on this. My request is, I think the manifest to the schools. We have schools in our wards. If we would really, once the transfer is done, we get the list so that we can be aware of who and who are the beneficiaries in those schools. This specifically for maybe the schools within the county. Maybe the ones which are far flung, we can now scrutiny maybe some other time, but for the schools which are near, which are belonging to these wards, I think we are able to check the list so that we cannot come up with a discrepancy I've seen in Nyakach Girls. Because if you check at the list of Nyakach Girls, it tells you that some wards missed out. There is no way a manifest for Nyakach Girls can miss out students from West Nyakach, for example, or North Nyakach, example, because most students in those schools within that sub-county, most of them are coming from the 5 wards within that sub-county. So it makes sense that some wards missed out on that list.
Point of order, Chair. The submission of the honorable member is misleading because they might come from Nyakach but did not apply for the bursary. I think that your submission is misleading this committee. Thank you, Chair.
I'm not misleading. Any manifest from any ward where a school sits or any sub-county where a school sits, you will see the trend. It is normal. Go to Aero Girls. You will find Nyando sub-county students are the majority in that list. That is really common sense. So I think I make sense out of that. So it will be prudent for us to be getting that manifest so that we can check. Thank you. I appreciate.
Honorable Ere.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just want to take this ample opportunity to thank our executive members, the fund manager and the team, for having come, spared time to come and answer to the audit queries. And at the same time, I want to also thank the team from the AG's office for having spared their time also to come and shed light to us on the responses that were made by the executive. Mr. Chair, I just want to request the fund manager so that he ensures that there is prudent management of this fund and there is timely disbursement of this fund, and also to ensure that the records are kept so well so that we can be able to know that there is corresponding names of the beneficiaries, so that we as the representatives, we are able to locate, we are able to track, and we are able to advise that so and so as qualified to get this particular amount that has been disbursed by the executive. Otherwise, thank you, and may God bless all of us.
Honorable Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Let me also take the opportunity to thank the Fund Administrator and the Accountant and the Office of the Auditor General for taking their time to come and share with us. Article 185 gives the County Assembly powers to oversight how the county government uses the public funds. So it's our duty. And we want to request you that for us to make sure that there's prudent use of money, you must support your answers with the schedules. That is what will help us. Owning an error or using COVID is not a defense. We just have to follow the rule the way it is. And your department has been given the power to particularly impact on the lives of our students through your department But what we've seen from the responses that you've given us, the department is a little bit falling short of what they're supposed to do. If you're still going to be in the office, kindly help us manage the funds accordingly and let the vulnerable students benefit for what they are supposed to get. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Maybe to the Office of the Auditor General, we appreciate you a lot for coming, actually honoring and being part of this exercise. Actually, it is your duty, and thank you for responding as required. Now, to the fund managers, we appreciate you a lot. You are our employees. Whatever we are doing here is a collective responsibility. Although the roles differ, we are in charge of oversight, and you do what is expected of you. To the members, thank you so much for coming. You know, we are always 9, but I can see that a good number of MCS are here, despite the fact that we have a public participation functions in different sub-counties. This shows that you are concerned with the committee and you are ready to discharge your duties as required. And maybe to the fund managers, it is so disappointing actually to the members of the County Assembly and even to the executive and extending to the governor when we find issues to be solved are not solved. Everything is unresolved. I don't understand really how you feel yourself as the people in charge of all this very important function. You know, as members of the County Assembly, what we look forward to most is this Department of Roads and Education. Although some are also very important, but it is very possible for us, all these members, it is possible for us to go home, not to come back here again because of bursary and roads. So when you fail the children back home there, you also fail us. When you fail the children back home there, you also fail the governor directly, because it was an issue and it is going to be an issue. Please, we request that you stop disappointing the whole county. So we are giving you the opportunity to provide and submit any other supportive document or any additional evidence to exonerate you from all this, because we are going to write our report, and the report, you know what is expected of us. We are going to do it according to the law, according to the PMF Act. You know what is, and according to the law of the land. We don't act outside the law. We do it within the law. This is the house of order and law. So before we do that, we are giving you the opportunity to give what you think is necessary as pertaining to the audit queries, so that when we are going to do our report, we do a report which is also fair to everybody. And it is also very important for us, when you submit the additional evidence, you submit to the Office of the Auditor General. It is very important you to do that. And you also communicate the date very clearly to the Assembly so that we know actually what is happening. And we are giving you, it is a ruling from the chair now, we are giving you until 12th of June to submit all the necessary documents and what is directed so that we conclude on the report. We expect a lot from you. I heard one of you talking about improving. You need to improve. We also heard about one of you talking about errors. You must work on those areas. And remember, the COVID-19 is not coming back soon. So we expect we'll meet you. Now you may be having something else to talk about, but not COVID-19. Otherwise, thank you so much. We are closing the session by a word of prayer. We pray, Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of the society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important tasks in the county. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberations in so just and faithful manner, a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen.